My name is Kyle Barloon, and we're going to be going over kicking and passing skills for third grade. The grade level outcome we want to achieve is using a continuous running approach and kicking a stationary ball for accuracy. Introduction and review of skills. In this lesson, we first started off with how to dribble and how to kick. At this point in their development, they know how to do so, but it's always best to make sure that we review the skills before we advance and extend the lesson. On the screen, you can see the kicking cues that we used for this lesson. I got them out of the National Standards and Grade Level Outcomes for K-12 Physical Education book. Initial task. The initial task was standing stationary with a stationary ball, kicking to a partner from about 10 feet away with proper form and proper technique. The extension task. So this time, instead of having a stationary person and a stationary ball, we now have a stationary ball, but a moving student. So for the extension part, they have to take 1 to 2 steps towards the ball in order to kick it. This will help them in terms of getting the running approach down when we go later into our assessment. The refining task. So a couple students weren't exactly following and extending through the kick with their leg. Also, their arm motions weren't exactly matching up. Jake did a nice job of demonstrating there what the proper form looks like. And there I demonstrate what the proper form isn't quite there. So we made sure to really focus on extending the leg and extending the arms along with the follow-through. The important thing to remember is that we're still going for accuracy because that's our grade level outcome for this lesson. Extension task. So this extension task, the sole purpose of it was to give them a real-life gameplay feel. This extension task involves them running up and down the gym, passing to a partner. However, the catch is, once they get the ball, they must stop the ball to make it stationary to help match our grade level outcome, and then they can kick it to a moving partner. Again, this was solely to help them get the feel for what a gameplay situation is like. Formative assessment activity. In this activity, you have 3 traffic cones, 2 large cones, and 1 small cone. The object of this activity is to kick the soccer ball, again with a running start, between the 2 big traffic cones. Your ultimate goal is to hit the small little traffic cone in the middle. You get 1 point for getting them in between the big cones, and 2 points for hitting the small cone. In 5 attempts, your goal is to get 6 points. This means you could get 4 in between the 2 big cones and hit the little cone once. They will be in partners of 2. One person will be kicking the ball, and the other one will be retrieving the ball, setting the cones back up, and passing it back to their partner. They can either roll the ball back or kick it back. I really emphasize that they kick the ball back, therefore they can work on their kicking skills. As you'll see later, we'll make this task harder by moving the cones in closer together and moving the student backwards, making them really emphasize kicking for accuracy and keeping good form. Again, with the accuracy component, they need to get the little cone down once in order to achieve their goal of 6 total points. To also make this task more difficult, you can bump up the point requirement. So instead of getting only 6 points, you can make it 7, 8, or even 9 points. Getting it to 10 points might be pretty darn difficult for them because that means they would have to hit the cone all 5 times. Extension of formative assessment. As you can see, we back the student up and move the cones closer together. This means they need to emphasize extending the leg forward in a straight line rather than off to the side. If they go off to the side, the ball is going to go off to the side. This is going to help them learn that following through is very important when kicking a ball for accuracy, especially when it's over longer distances. Final thoughts and questioning. In this portion, all we did was recap the lesson, what we did, go over the form cues for dribbling, kicking, and basic questions about what they thought about the assessment, what was hard, what was easy, what made it more difficult, what made it easier, things of that nature. If they answer these questions correctly, you know that the student learned what needed to be learned in the lesson.